Hello and welcome to the Happy as Annie YouTube channel. I'm Annie and today's tarot topic is the shadow card, or the card that's at the bottom of the tarot deck when you're doing a tarot reading, and what that means for your tarot spread. So if you've been wondering about that, this is the video for you.
Welcome to the Happy as Annie YouTube channel. Let's talk about tarot.
So today's topic actually comes from one of you asking about the shadow card in the comments of a previous YouTube video I did. So the shadow card refers to the card at the bottom of the tarot deck, and many people ask, what does that mean? I've seen tarot readers kind of glance at the bottom of the deck either before they do their tarot spread, or maybe at the end of a tarot reading they do a final flip just to see what that bottom card is. What's the deal with that? Should I be doing that? And if I do look at it, what does it mean? How do I incorporate it into the other cards that I pulled for my tarot spread? Now this video is going to go over the 3 main ways to interpret that shadow card. Now you're probably thinking, great, she always does this. I ask her a simple question, and instead of giving me a simple answer, she has to give me a million different ways that it can go. And that, my friends, is how tarot works. So the first way to interpret the card at the bottom of the deck, or the shadow card, is to check it first and treat it as a foundation or overall theme for the tarot spread you've laid out. Okay, so let's say you're doing a tarot reading, right? So you start your tarot reading by thinking of the issue or asking the question out loud, and you pull your cards. So I'm going to pull 3 cards here. I have the Ace of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Cups. Okay, very interesting combination here. I would probably do this if I were reading for somebody else. Now, why do I say that? If you've been following me for a while now, you know that my primary use for tarot cards is to read for myself. I use it as a self-discovery tool, as a way to dig past my own bullshit and get to the heart of what it is I'm trying to sort through and feel out, okay? However, if I'm ever reading for a friend, I might check the bottom of the deck. Okay, first of all, how weird is that? I just shuffled my ass off and the same card. Okay, so I might, if I'm reading for someone else, I will need a little more context and a little more guidance because it's not me, right? It's somebody else. And I want to get a little more organized in the reading I'm about to give. So I might check the bottom of the deck and treat this card as the foundation or overall theme. Kind of like flipping to the back of a book to kind of see what happens. Or if you're like me, if you're watching like Riverdale or something on Netflix and you're not good at anxiety, you kind of skip to the end to be like, okay, are Archie and Betty gonna end up together, or is it gonna be Archie and Veronica, right? So that's what this does, okay? So you kind of fast forward and go, okay, what am I aiming for? What's the overall theme? What should I keep in mind? Okay. And then with that shadow card in mind, you then turn to your spread and think about how they are getting us to this foundational or overall theme card. The second way to interpret the shadow card is to check it at the end of the tarot reading, just as a quick final little message about the reading you just finished doing. So I have my 3 cards, and I'm just randomly picking 3. You don't have to always pick 3 cards and then check the shadow card. You could be doing a full-on Celtic cross. You could be drawing just 1 or 2 cards. You could be doing any tarot spread and check for that shadow card, okay? I'm just randomly picking 3 cards for this video. So in this second way to use that shadow card, you're not worried about it yet. You're gonna go through your whole reading, pretend these are the only things in the world, and then at the very end, if you feel called to, you want something a little extra, it's like a final little cherry on top, then you would flip over that deck and go, what's that bottom card here? Okay, what's the final message? So if I picked these cards, wow, these are amazing stories we're getting just for these hypothetical scenarios. So I see someone who is just really stuck, getting in their own way, a lot of limiting beliefs. In fact, next to the Wheel of Fortune, where they feel like a passive victim, like they're just kind of stuck and waiting for life to happen to them, instead of, if you watched last week's video, stepping out of their comfort zone and doing something about it. Okay? And so I kind of finish my reading and then I go, I wish there was like one more piece to it. And remember that card? So at this point I might go, oh yeah, let's see what the shadow card is. And this is perfect. It's anxiety, it's our own fears and insecurities, maybe being afraid of what others might think if you were to take this bold action you've been dreaming about. It's just that bow tying the package together, that cherry on top that really just kind of concludes your tarot spread nicely. The third way to interpret the shadow card is the one that I think kind of matches its name the most. It's to interpret it as hidden shadow influences that might be going on in the background or subconsciously. Okay, so something that you might be afraid of, some hidden fear or even a hidden desire that's kind of messing with things, and that, you know, your intuition wants to bring to the surface, okay? And I like this one because it matches the name. Shadow kind of refers to our darker or shadow parts of us that we may not like or we may not be proud of, or something we're kind of trying to work through or repress, okay? Anything like childhood fears, traumas, things like that that kind of color how we experience the world, but we don't necessarily tackle head on all the time, okay? I also like the metaphor of it being suppressed, because that card is literally at the bottom of the deck. It mirrors the way our psyches work. Things we're afraid of, or the things that are kind of ugly or painful for us, we bury them deep. That's literally what's happening to the card. It's buried all the way at the bottom of the deck because we maybe don't want to consider it, okay? So let's say I pull a couple cards, and I'll just pull two just because it's the last one. So I picked two beautiful cards here. We have the Star and we have the Two of Cups, okay? So what I get from this is just such a beautiful time in your life. I'm getting the Star, where you are really feeling like you're coming into your own. Here is who I am. I'm letting my freak flag fly, and I'm just pouring my heart and soul into creating the kind of life I want for myself. And what does that attract in our lives? It attracts beautiful, deep connections with other people. It attracts like-minded people into our sphere, because when you're being your beautiful, authentic self, you're attracting the right kind of people to you, right? So what's wrong here? This is precisely the type of situation where it's like, this is perfect. I will take this. No thank you for any shadows, right? But say, well, let me see what kind of hidden influences might be lurking at the bottom. How many times am I going to get this card today? Okay, so the shadow card is the King of Pentacles. So in this case, if you're interpreting the shadow card in this third way, this is some kind of hidden influence that might be coloring how you see this beautiful situation. The King of Pentacles, to me, is a lot about pressures from family or society on, you know, what success looks like and what you should be prioritizing in life, okay? So think about your future, be practical, build wealth, and think about reputation and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of people have these kind of voices in their head and pressures and standards that tend to veer them off of this beautiful, authentic, love-filled path, right? So if I were to just read these two cards, I might get this beautiful positive message, but perhaps I would be doing myself or whoever I'm reading for a disservice by not saying, hey, let's not just look at the beautiful surface. We need to talk about what's lurking in the shadow that you probably need to address too. So let's wrap up. The 3 main ways I interpret shadow cards are: 1, you can check it at the beginning of the tarot reading to kind of set the overall tone, theme, or foundation of the reading you're about to do. 2, you can interpret it as a final little bow wrapping up the package, or a cherry on top, a final little message to wrap the reading you just did together nicely. And the 3rd and final way that I like to interpret a shadow card is when I'm done with the reading, I take a little sneak peek to see what darker, hidden, or shadow influences exist that might be influencing or coloring the way we experience whatever it is I just learned in the tarot spread. And one final thing I want to add is that you don't have to read the shadow cards. In fact, a lot of times I forget to, and that's okay. So don't think you messed up a tarot reading because you kind of put all the cards back and moved on, and don't worry about it. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you are notified of all the future tarot videos headed your way. Thanks so much.